Good evening, Bhante and all Kalyana Mitas Sukihotu. I'm Aliana and welcome to Sutta Discussion Day 23 by Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima. Tonight's topic is Metta Sutta, which is the third sutta from the total of 10 suttas that have been chosen by Bhante Chandima for this sutta discussion. Whoever interested to join the Zoom class where we can engage directly with Bhante can contact us on Ti-Ratana Vihara Amapadana Clan's Facebook Messenger. We are welcoming newcomers. However, this class also will be broadcast on Ti-Ratana Amapadana Clan Facebook page and YouTube channel. Please allow me to introduce about our speaker. Bhante Dr. Gangodawila Chandima currently is the Senior Advisor at Patisotta Canada, a virtual Dharma organization that helps beginners as well as expert students in learning Dharma in a variety of ways. Many people are interested in Dhamma Pariyesana, Patisotta's most acclaimed interview series, which Bhante conducts on regular basis. You can check on Patisotta with the link www.patisotta.blogspot.com. Bhante Chandima earned a PhD in Buddhist Studies in 2015 from University of Sri Jayawardenepura in Sri Lanka. From 2012 to 2015, Bhante served as Theravada Buddhist chaplain at the University of British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada. And in 2016, Bhante was a research fellow at the Center for Studies in Religion Society and Society of University of Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. Without further ado, we welcome once again Bhante. Thank you very much for the talk. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Aliana, one more time for everyday production, and Lim for techie things that has been done. And we have a YouTube video every week because Aliana's son. What's his name, Aliana? Everybody say son. Aliana's son. Who is he? What's his name?
Aaron Bhante.
Aaron. H-E-R-O-N.
Aaron. Yeah, A-A-R-O-N.
Okay, Aaron is helpful for us to, put it up on YouTube so many people can watch. So many people are, contributing behind the scene and, in public. So I'm very thankful, grateful for everybody, including for those who participate every Friday. It has been a very wonderful journey. We started with a couple of people, but now it has been increasing with our discussions over the time. I think today is going to be day 23, and happy to do this this Friday too. I was expecting to do it because tomorrow I have a big conference here in Chiang Rai, Thailand, and I think today what we're going to do is to continue with a couple more stanzas from the place where we left up. I think we left up at verse number 5. So we're going to do from verse number 6 and 7 today. So before all that, let's pray and pay homage to Buddha. Sadhu, 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 sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. I usually welcome everybody as Sadhu's Kim, Liana, Lim. Oh, Lim's son is up over there. Maybe he's helping too. Bella from Thailand, Rohini, Sihan from Thailand, Wu, Hema, and Vinita and Sherry from Singapore. I think a couple more might be joining as we continue. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, today we are supposed to discuss verse number 6 at the beginning. So If anybody dare to reciting the stanza, verse number 6, Naparu Para. Who would like to recite? Kim, you want to try? Verse number 6.
I don't mind, but I think Sadiri's offered.
Oh,
Sadiri.
really? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. Okay,
He
Sadiri. Yeah,
Let
go ahead.
it go, let it go.
You do it. You're good.
Okay, you can listen, I can hear that.
Yeah, we all can hear you well.
Naparo param nikupeta nati manyeta katta chinangkanchi yaro sana patinya sanya nyanya manyasa dukkha metteya.
Okay, great. But a couple things in pronouncing some Pali letters. For example, na paro parang nikupeta. Here, nati, not nyati. Nyati means relatives. Huh? Say idam me nyati nang hotu, not nyati. Nati. Nati manneta katta chinang kanchi. Vyarusana patigha sanya. Again, not nyanya. Should be nanya. Okay? Not nyanya. Nanya. Nanya manyasa dukkha michaya. You see, the letters have some nasals, but some letters are pretty easy to pronounce. So, as I told you a couple times, many times, one of the things that we plan to develop, especially in all of you, is to be able to read Pali properly. You know, at least the stanzas, verses, so that you pronounce Pali properly. Naparu paran nikubit nati manyet khatta chinang kanchi byaru sena patigha sanya nanya manyas dukkha michaya. So, you know, it goes. Okay, so this stanza, to my understanding, one of the very, I would say, if you ask me about the level of loving kindness that we can see in the, you know, Metta Sutta, this stanza is, of course, the, I would say, the most insightful stanza about the loving kindness practice. It actually covers the what you call the amount of loving kindness that we need to extend. Also, how we should do. Now, in other verses, you can see different people, different beings, as we discussed last few weeks, long beings, large beings, and all that. But in this stanza, it particularly says how to practice loving kindness. And I also want to say that this stanza verse also informs us the reason why many people cannot practice loving kindness properly. Then I think this has something very interesting to learn. Now, some people might say, okay, may I be well, happy, peaceful, may no harm come to me, may no difficulties come to me, no problems come to me, and all that. I'm doing loving kindness meditation, right? But the problem is there's something lacking here. That's what this verse gives us. Actually, it's good now. The normal rubrics of the loving kindness meditation also good, but this says how completely we need to practice loving kindness. Okay, look at the first line. Na paro parang nikubet. Na means do not. Paro parang, others and others, right? Nikubet. Nikubet means cheat. Let not others deceive others. Right? Now, when you say let not others deceive others, then you are definitely inclusive in that, right? Because other people doing that to us and we do it to other people, and don't even think about it that you are not inclusive in that. You are definitely inclusive, and on top of that, you are thinking, you are extending that may others not cheat on others. Now, how many people in this society sometimes crazily like when others get cheated? Huh? Imagine the good thing that happened to the guy. He was cheated. We should never expect cheating, even that can happen to other folks. Not even cheating in terms of relationship. Cheating, deceiving, swindling, scamming, money scamming. Sometimes you are being marketed by somebody for nothing. You don't know. You've been scammed by somebody. How many such things happen even now, even at this moment of our talk, right? So the Buddha says, if you really want to practice loving kindness, you should have a firm wish reflecting that may others not cheat on others or deceive others, may not others swindle others. Interesting, huh? Because cheating is such a very bad thing. Now, of course, you could think about cheating to be a relationship thing, as I said earlier. But cheating is not just a relationship kind of thing. It is the it is a sort of broken trust, right? You break the trust. When you break the trust between in any between any party, let's say husband and wife, parents and children, I would say, monastics and lay people, um, government and the citizens, right? So it can go to many, community groups, right? Not even that. Have you ever thought that we might sometimes cheat on ourselves? Sometimes it can happen to us too. We cheat on us because we know that this is not good, but we simply get carried out by other external things. Then we cheat on us. Then what happens? We are very worried about it. We are very remorseful about what we did. Right? Sometimes it can last till our last breath. So the firm wish that is reflective of the metta meditation, metta, is not to expect a cheating on anybody, even cheating that can happen from somebody to somebody else. Right? Let not anyone cheat on anyone else. Right? We can discuss more later, but just to understand the meaning of the first line. Second, now jnati. Yeah? What's the difference between nati and jnati? Can somebody pronounce that for me? Because I know what to do, but can somebody pronounce both jnati and nati? Two Pali words. Kim, you want to try?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nati and Nyati.
See, a little difficult for some people. Okay. Jnati and nati, or nati and jnati. So nati means no, jnati means relatives, those who you know, right? So never say when you go to a temple to pour water, idang wo nati nyang, nati. It should be idang mean nyati nang or nati. Nya and na, they are two different things. Okay, so nati manyeta katta chinankanti. Now, after having said that, let others not cheat on others, now it is said that let others not despise, insult anyone, anywhere, anytime. Very interesting, huh? Anywhere, anytime. Oh, anytime I could actually add that katta means anywhere, country. See, the idea gives anywhere for anything. We can say anytime too, because some people say, okay, now we are in the temple, we can't do that. Let's go back home. We will then do that again. So anywhere, anytime, right? So we're gonna say we are not supposed to insult anybody, despise anybody, right? We may have a criticism. What kind of criticism is Buddhism appreciating us to do? Does Buddhism talk about criticism? Does Buddhism, does Buddha encourage us to criticize people, others, or us? No. Now I'm going to bring you back to one of the stanzas we did last week. Nachakuddang samachare kinchiyena vinyu pare.
Is it good criticism?
Some wise people can criticize you for something you do in terms of unwholesome akusala. That means we also want to be wise people, right? So that if you are a wise person, then definitely you see the unwholesome people, right? Then we may have a criticism, but that criticism is not attached to hatred. You look at many criticism that happen outside the world, they are hate-based. They are pretty much related to anger. In Buddhism, we may have a criticism, but that arises from constructive. That's the proper word in today's contemporary world. Constructive criticism. That means somebody is trying to help you in the proper way. When you want to help somebody with a constructive criticism, you are not going to share it in public among many people. Probably you're going to have a private time. But there are people who want to say that, okay, I know what may have happened. You did the wrong thing. So you are talking to everybody there. So that person feels really uncomfortable, right? Right? That's not a good idea. So if you want to really help someone in terms of the kusala aspect, so make it a private thing, right? Make it a private thing, because that is how you're gonna make it, make it workable. Otherwise, that person will take it in a wrong way. This guy, this person did that to me in public, so I'm gonna, something like that. So I have to be very careful. So the idea here is that you are allowed to criticize constructively about wholesome, unwholesome stuff, but at the right place in the proper way. But here, what does it mean? Here, it doesn't mean criticism. It means blames, despise, insult. They are not allowed at any point. As Buddhists, we are not allowed to blame anybody. We are not allowed. We are not supposed to, insult anybody. What's the basic emotion behind the insult? What's the basic emotion behind the insult, despise, belittling?
Hatred.
Mostly it is hatred. Mostly, some people might say it is not hatred, but if you go through the reasons, you can find out some hatred elements are mostly lied at the base of that issue. Now in Pali, we call, now there are two words coming up. So I want to touch base with those two terms. But before that, I want to tell you, in Pali, there are different Pali words for different angry emotions. Now you might say, dosa is the main. No, dosa is one degree of hatred. One degree of, there are different degrees in our anger. So there is a Pali word which is called by aggregates. Only I'm going to type it here. It is called aggregates. Let me type that for you. Okay. Can everybody see that? Should be able to see. Aggregates. Aggregates means resentment. Okay. So now this is one type plus a degree of our hatred, right? And on the other hand, there are a couple other words. So I'm gonna talk about them a little later, maybe in the next line, third line. Now, what's the nature of aggregate? Now, aggregate happens because of couple reasons. There are people who are very resentful to others because they think other people did not help them. It's, this happens to many. Yeah, you know what? They were very rich. We were very poor at that time. But these, my friends, mostly my relatives, did not help me. So they are very rich too. They are very comfortable too. But they look at that time. A time that has gone from the both parties. At that time, we didn't have a house. We didn't have enough needs supported by others. But they could have supported, but they really did not. So I'm very resentful about it, right? So that's one thing. The second thing is, some people might be resentful for the stuff that what others may have done to them. They may have done something wrong to them. Now the first reason for resentment, agata, is that they did not help them. The second is what they have done to them. They have purposely hurt them. So they are resentful. Right? So in this way, there may be a couple of reasons of why people can be resentful. And then unfortunately, what can happen to them is that they wake up by thinking about that person. Okay, the people who they are resentful for, they wake up and then they brush their teeth by thinking about their life. They go to the washroom, brush their teeth, and then they take their breakfast by thinking their names. Oh, they did that to me. I'm like this today, but they did it to me. And then they drive to work by thinking their names. In case they get an accident, they are thinking about the enemy. They are so-called enemy. And then they are coming back to home by thinking such people sometimes. And then they sleep. But finally, what happens? One day they're going to die by thinking about that person. But funny enough, those people even don't remember such things by now. Those people that they are thinking the resentment for, they don't even know what is going on. But this person is thinking of this happened. He did to me. So this is called resentment. In Pali, we call aggata. Okay, there's a particular Pali sutta for that. It's not the time to talk about that, but if you want, I can give that to you too. Maybe I can send to Aliana to share. So aggata, that is one level. Now I want to bring you to the third line to talk about it. So the meaning of the second line here is that the first line we talk about, the Buddha asks us not to expect any cheating even among others. So you need to make a wish every day, let others not deceive, cheat on others. That means let others always trust each other, create a trustworthy environment, right? And then the second line says, let others not despise, insult anybody, anywhere, anytime, right? I would add anytime too, because otherwise you might not know. Some people might make some places where they can do it. The third line says, how can people insult others? Attached to the second line. Vyarosana patiga sanya. Okay, Vyarosana patiga sanya. What is Vyarosana? What is patiga sanya? That means there are two emotions that are attached to the hatred, dosa. They are the ones we understand by Vyarosana and patiga sanya. But what is sanya? Every time when we have a bad, unwholesome thought, it normally appears in the form of a perception, sanya. Right? Remember, in some of the Buddhist stories, there are monks who are telling other monks, Bhante, I am burning from the lust now. Bhante, I am burning from this particular emotion. So I am burning from the emotion. I am burning from the perception of this emotion, kama sanya, dosa sanya. So normally the bad emotion, unwholesome emotions are considered as perceptions. Actually, they are perceptions. Now, for example, before we jump into Vyarosana and Patiga, let's talk about emotions a little bit. Okay, how do we understand emotions in Buddhism? Are emotions and feelings the same or are they different? Because in psychology, they talk about emotions and feelings. So how do we understand? Is there a Pali word for emotions? An interesting question, right? Is there any Pali word for emotions? Have you ever thought about that? Because some people,
Sankar,
huh?
Sankar,
Sankhara.
Sanya, Sankara, Vinyan.
Oh, Sankhara is okay. Did I just mention about it? I think I was telling about
Sanya, Sankara, Vinyan. That means
yeah,
getting
nama based stuff. But normally, yeah, you are very close to the, the Pali word, but not you picked up the right word. Yeah, but there's one Pali word for that. How do we understand emotions? What is the Pali word for emotions? Normally, how do we understand it? You can't understand just by the name, only by looking at the context. In Buddhism, emotions can be considered as sanya. Sanya. Now, so the feeling is Vedana. That is why now there is no meditation for sanya, right? The meditation is for the feeling, right? Because the feeling has an affective knowledge. Affective means you can feel it. Emotions are at the level of your thoughts. Is it correct? Can you feel your emotions? No, emotions has to transform, have to transform into feelings, right? So the sanya is where we understand the emotions. That's why it is said kama sanya. You get a perception about lust. You have a physical interest about somebody or for something. Kama sanya. Now here it is also said pyarosana patiga sanya. There are two types of perceptions have occurred to somebody who might insult other people. Now, so there are people who insult others based on two bad emotions. What are they? Vyarosana patikasanya. To tell you the truth, Vyarosana is simply the anger. We could say Rosana means anger. Now, when we talk about anger, it's pretty interesting to see some of the karma story. Remember, there's a story about the Arahant Anuruddha. If you remember, this Arahant Anuruddha's sister had an eczema. The body is always itchy all the time. But the brother is an Arahant, is a very famous Arahant. Then they found out the reason was in a previous life, she was very pretty. She was very pretty. But at that time, there were polygamy. The kings married to a couple women, the polygamy. So she didn't like the other woman, the queen or whoever, co-queen. So she set up her for a itchy plant. So she was suffering because of that the whole life after that. So she got the karmic result in this life. Although she was okay, but her body was always itchy. She had an eczema. It's a karmic reasons. The Buddha said, those of them who are very pretty are the ones who never had anger on other people, maybe less anger on other people. The pretty people had done that well. But it doesn't mean that the pretty people now will do the same. They might be angry towards others. So if you keep your anger very low to a minimum, you are prettier in this life, and you're pretty in this life, you are prettier, you're gonna be prettier in next life too. So anger and the beauty has a connection. Actually, we normally say when somebody is angry, we normally say in our cultural way that you are getting older very fast. Is it true? When you're angry, you feel like you are burning yourself. You are having a premature aging at that point. You are so burning. Why do you want to do that? Right? It says that when you are angry, you are using many muscles, right? But when you are happy, you are using less muscles. whatever, right? All these say that be a happy person, not becoming a problem to others. Never take other people's baggage on you, right? Even there are some credible reasons for that. Because you deserve your happiness. You deserve for your joy, comfort. Never destroy that. So the idea here is that anger is one of the reasons why people became probably not pretty and they probably got some skin problems. I know there are people who are struggling with skin problems till their death. It's pretty painful. It's not a big problem on the surface, but they are suffering inside, say very itchy, I'm not saying that they can't get a treatment, but why some people are not, why some people are like that? There's a reason. So never ever have anger. We might get angry, but never dwell in that perception. Okay, so Vyarosana is anger here. Then patiga. What is patiga? Patiga is the larger version of hatred. Pretty dangerous emotion. Very dangerous emotion. Why do I say so? If you can remember the 10 fetters. Can anyone remember the 10 fetters? What are the 10 fetters? What is a fetter? Sangyojana. In Pali we call Sangyojana. What is Sangyojana? The strings that bind us to the samsara. So what we have to do, we are supposed to cut them one by one, or maybe 10 at the same time. You are so clever, right? So those 10 strings bind us to the samsara. Okay, so Sakkaya Ditti, Vichikicha, Silabbata Paramasa are the first 3 fetters. These are the ones which you cut or eliminate. Now let's say cut, because I say they are strings. Cut them at the level of Sotapatti. Then you have Kamaraga and Patiga. There's Patiga, not those. Patiga. Patiga means ill will. What is ill will, them folks? Ill will. There's another word for ill will, Vyapada, but Patiga is the formal word. What is ill will?
Bad-hearted.
Huh?
Bad-hearted.
Bad-hearted. Yeah, that's the reason for that. But how do we understand ill will in the proper way?
Wickedness.
Wicked.
Is it wickedness?
Wickedness. Okay. But if we nail down this to a very, what do you call a technical word to understand what exactly Patika is. So how do we name it in English? You have goodwill, huh? Is it the opposite of goodwill? No.
Yeah. No.
Okay. What is ill will? Now, ill will, yeah, ill will is the word. I was trying to help you out. Ill will. Ill will means you have thoughts to destroy somebody. Now, if you look at Panatipata, you're killing someone. Even before you have the killing, the physical killing, you may have thoughts of killing other folks. The Buddha says, thoughts of killing are more dangerous and more harmful than the actual killing. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to go kill somebody and you are safe, because actual killing also happens after that, right? So that if that is the case, then a thought about killing others, destroying other people is the worst, in that thinking. So thoughts of destroying others. Let's be honest to all of us, right? How many ill will type of thoughts can arise to us on a daily basis? Because I know there are people who kill others with their thoughts because of things, because they think, because nobody knows, only you know what it is. So every time when a thought of destroying others arises in you, because you are a putujana like all of us, never ever develop that thought. Just let it go. That is what you could do. But a lot of people cannot understand, this is ill will. They don't know this is ill will, so they just let it happen, let it arise. When it is arisen, recognize it right away. I'm not gonna develop, I'm not gonna let it happen in me. I'm gonna let it go. That's the ability in Buddhism, the wise ability, right? If you don't, then that means you have ill will. So I think there are many criminals at the level of the thoughts than the actual criminals. I mean, if you look at a serial, kind of a very bad guy out there, you know, in any country, who have killed many people, like Angulimala, how do we separate out this guy and us? So this guy who killed many folks, the gangsters, maybe contract killers, they are folks who could not manage a couple of thoughts, so they have gone to that level. But in our case, we know where to stop. But even we know this, the place where we're going to stop, but still the thoughts can arise. So the difference between us and such beings is that that guy doesn't know how to stop an ill will thought, but we know how to stop it, even at the level where we don't do that. But even when ill will thoughts arise in us, we should be able to let them go. Now here, the person who does not know loving kindness going to insult other people with anger and ill will. They arise in that person as sanya, what you call by emotions. Let's talk about sanya a little bit. What is sanya? Let's talk about sanya as a distinct aggregate. You know, sanya is a part of 5 aggregates. What do you call by them? Panchakanda, right? Rupakanda, Vedanakanda, Sanyakanda, Sankarakanda, Vijnanakanda. Now, if you talk about from the aspect of 5 kanda, not many people can keep them as kanda. They're gonna make it upadana kanda. They make rupa kanda to be rupa upadana kanda. That means they cling to the rupa kanda. The Buddha said kanda is okay because we are made up of these 5 aggregates. But some people, most people, they cannot understand that there is merely a kanda aggregate. What can normally happen to them is that they cling to the particular kanda over time. They cling to rupa kanda, they cling to vedana kanda, they cling to sanya, sankara, vijnana. So when you cling to sanya kanda, that means you are more likely to get these emotions. That means you are clung to emotions. That is why I'm saying don't let emotions play out on you. Interesting, right? Take the ownership of your emotional structure, right? Have you ever heard that somebody talks about emotions to be sanya kanda anywhere? Or is the first time you heard this thing today? Have you ever understood, recognized sanya to be emotions or emotions to be sanya in Buddhism? Has anybody ever connected or probably recognized emotions that we know in psychology, modern medical science could be sanya kanda? No idea yet. Anyways, so now what is sanya exactly? People make sanya for 2 reasons. Now in basic English, we say sanya is noting. You make notes. So you make notes for the future, sanya for the future. That means your likes and dislikes are mostly rooted in your desires that you make notes for the future. And also you are remembering about the past notes, right? So these notes can be likes and dislikes. So the purpose of your perceptions, sanyas, or I would say emotions, are to recognize those notes or to perceive those notes when a likely something is going to happen. Let's say you have a craving towards a particular fruit. Okay, you make a note. I like pineapple. Let's say I like pineapple. You make a note. So every time when you see a pineapple out there on the road, in a supermarket or wherever, even on internet, then your note will tell you, hey, go grab it, go buy it. So that emotion arises because you already made a note and then it is stored under your emotions. It is the same thing. Let's say you are with somebody and you have likes and you always make conceptualizations, right? It always goes for people, things, and many, even the dreams. I know there are people who always say, I really wanted to become this and that, but it didn't happen. But look at you, and you are so successful in a different way. Why you look at something you could not do it? No, that was my dream. The sanya, right? Just forget about it. You have achieved a lot of things in your life. You have a good family, you have a good education, you have a good so and so forth, right? So that means sanya can even put somebody down, even they are successful. Very dangerous, huh? It's very dangerous because they have an impact factor which has a high ranking in our life, right? So never ever let emotions to play out on. Take the ownership, and I know what I want to do. That is the way how we're gonna deal with our emotions. Sanya. Next time when somebody asks you, hey, do you know the equivalent or the word for emotion in Buddhism? How do you gonna respond to that person? Yeah. I know it is a part of sanya. Sanya. So sanya talks about emotions. Sanya is the emotion according to Buddhist teachings. Now the Buddha asks, if you want to practice metta, loving kindness, you should never expect other people cheat on others. Then don't even think about your own cheating. Some people self-cheat on them, right? Never ever cheat on you. Never ever cheat on your spouse, your other friends, people who are gonna buy something from you. If you are a business person, never ever cheat your customers. If you are a lay person, never ever cheat on monastics. If you are I would say somebody who is responsible for something, never ever cheat on the beneficiaries. Never ever do that. Otherwise, you will have to pay the cost, outright, maybe the whole life. Okay, so despise, insultation also cannot be done. Never ever blame. I would say blame. Never ever insult anybody anywhere. That means if somebody is blaming to other people, blaming others, that person does not practice loving kindness practice, metta meditation.
Bhante, the word sanya, Vairo sanya and Patika sanya, the word is the same, but the spelling different, is it?
You mean the letters of the word?
Yes.
Yeah,
The
sanya. There's a
Vairo
nasal,
is
sanya.
Then the Patika is SANNA, is it?
No, patigha is a different Pali word. Sanya
No,
is the,
sanya. Sanya, the first. Vairo sanya is SANA. Patika sanya is SANNA, is it?
yeah. That is how it is given because now it is combined for the versification. When it is in a verse, it can be combined for the easy pronunciation.
But it is the same now.
No, I mean sanya means, as I told you, emotions or perceptions. Perceptions have emotions, right?
Perception.
So any emotion, any perception could be any emotion. There are many, everything in our life is emotion, right? So any emotions, they are under sanya. Now here in this case, anger and ill will. Okay, so the perceptions, emotions of anger and ill will will be to somebody who might insult others. Yeah, Kim.
But I think he's trying to say that one is spelled with one N, the other is spelled with two N. So is it still the same meaning? Sanya.
One is spelled what?
S-A-N-A. The other one is Patigas, S-A-N-N-A.
You mean Vyarosana?
Ah,
Well, I think this what do you call the document has given some dashes between some Pali words for easy pronunciation. That is not the correct way. It's probably the way how they chant. So normally Vyarosana is one word. Okay, Vyarosana is one word, but Patiga Sanya. So it should be Vyarosana and Patiga Sanya, because you don't see the different diacritical mark above N at the point of Vyarosana. That is why it is Sana, that is Anya, Patiga Sanya, right? It's different.
but
So you
same
see the
meaning.
diacritical mark.
Same meaning.
No. Vyarosana is one word, one Pali word. That means anger.
Anger.
Yeah, Patiga means ill will. Sanya means perceptions or emotions. But here, that the word Sanya is connected to Patiga, because the reason is for the sake of combination. In Pali, a lot of words are combined for the easy pronunciation. So there are two words. If you look at another Pali chanting book, you can see Vyarosana is one Pali word actually.
But both are emotions.
Both
One is
are
perception.
emotions, but Vyarosana is one word, that is anger. Anger is an emotion. Ill will also is an emotion. Okay, make sense? Okay, great. Now we come to the very important wish in our life. I don't know how many people can precisely do this on a daily basis if you really want to practice metta. Nanya manyasa dukkha michaya. Na anya. Okay. May no one ever expect suffering of anybody. That means may everybody wish happiness of everybody. So in Pali we could say, may no one expect suffering of anybody. So here nanya manyasa, anya anyasa, other means no. So let no one expect suffering of anybody, any being. Now let's bring this to our daily life. Do we always wish happiness of everybody? Let's be honest.
Sometimes no.
This is why we don't get the real result of metta, right? This is the reason. Not just, that's why I'm telling, I've been telling you, may I be well, happy, may no harm come to me, will not help us all the time, because we don't do it in the right way. Because if you really want to do it, then you should have this pure big heart. May no one expect suffering. You might sometimes, not you, I mean, many people in this society may generalize, okay, you know what, this person was very mean to me, so it's good that somebody blamed that person today, insulted. I'm so happy. How many people do that, right?
Mostly, I think mostly.
I'm sorry?
In the mundane life, I think nobody can do all these things, Bhante. Sure, got somebody, unless your mindfulness is so strong. Because the mindfulness is not strong. So before you can think of anything, you think of the bad thing already.
Well, I mean, as people who study Dhamma, that is not a good statement to make. Because we are studying all this to learn and then to practice as much as we can. You may sometimes fail in your journey. We all may sometimes fail, but there should always have an effort, right? Then somebody can easily say, I can't do anything of this. I just do the way I want. That's the easiest statement, right? That is what many people do in this society. But we as a special group want to learn with effort and then to apply. Okay, but the problem is we should be able to find practical ways to do it. Now, is it difficult for us to expect happiness, not suffering of everybody?
Then
Is it
when we,
really a
yeah,
difficult thing to expect happiness of every being?
although we want to wish everybody happy, we want to wish the best for everybody, but sometimes things happen, make us very upset.
Don't go to the personal issues that happen so far. Now this is the place where you bring this thing, right? Okay, let's talk about this in general. Whenever this idea, this great idea arises, a lot of people go to their justifications. Okay, how come my sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, and this one, they were very mean to me. So no, I'm not gonna change that. I'm gonna keep my mindset the same as I've been doing. They were very mean to me. This is our problem. This is only one life. Maybe there were some problems from our side too. Maybe we were mean to them too, probably in some ways. Probably somebody made a bad decision. Probably maybe other people were mean to us for some other reasons. But no matter what, if we really want to follow, we gotta let them go. Let such thoughts go, because probably you might not show this to them from outside. This is an internal struggle.
Oh yes.
Okay. Now a lot of people think I want to show them. I know that you were mean to me. You all mean to my family. Okay, let's forget about it. But the real struggle happens inside. We struggle inside. Our justifications, our prejudices, our bias, everything happens inside. So it is an internal struggle. Don't point out fingers at other folks who were in our life, right? So it is a practical thing. It could be an easy thing if you really find out the way out, right? So if you really, okay, here's the thing. If we really want to practice Dhamma, this inability, I can't, this thinking has to be dispelled. This has to be dispelled. Otherwise, we won't be able to practice the Dhamma. Because we make that statement because we have already constructed our problems and already created our sankhara for that. This is why there are people who don't take care of their parents, but they come to the temple and take care of the monks. If I know that, you take care of your parents first, don't come here, right? You don't treat your wife very well. You don't treat your husband very well. You don't take care of your children very well. And you're going to come to the temple and become the best, most disciplined devotee in the temple. What's going on here? This is not the way, right? Maybe somebody can do, probably they have problems. But once they can be opening up for somebody, a monk or somebody who they can trust, such good beings can definitely lead them to understand the problems. Never ever keep the grudge and then do good things. This is what it says. Let no one expect suffering of any being in this society, even an animal, right? Because that is the highest wish that we can make in our life, right? So as Buddha's mentioned, this could be on the surface level a difficult thing to some people, but it is not a difficult thing, because it is not that you go to some people, you say, from today onwards, I'm going to give up any hatred towards you. You don't want to say that. Do it from inside. Do it from within. Then the problem is solved. Maybe one day when you are more prepared, go and then apologize to them. Maybe you have if you think that you can't talk to them, just let it go. You have to heal from within. So it's the problem solved. Okay, Naparo Paraniko Beta, let no one cheat on others or swindle, deceive others. Nati Manyeta Kattachinankanti, Byarosana Patikasanya. Out of anger and ill will, motions of anger and ill will, Let no one insult anybody, anywhere, for any reason or any time, can add any time too. Finally, let no one expect suffering of any being. Very interesting, huh? Very interesting. If you can do this every morning, if you, before you start your day, if you can think about uh, let no one struggle with suffering, let no one uh, deal with suffering. May I always expect the well-being and the happiness of every being. Such a good, I think this is the best thought, best feeling, best wish you can have today. But the selfish beings all, may I be well and happy, may my father, mother happy and all that, and that's it. These selfish beings. So then they keep starting, oh, I'm gonna do something wrong to be, they were very mean to me. They're gonna create their angry perspective after that. That's the problem. I always say, yeah, start from may I be well and happy, go to other folks, but at the end, may every being be well and happy. That is very important because some people, they exclude some others. I remember when I was conducting a class, a lecture actually, to a university in Atlanta, couple years ago. That was a time where one of the very debatable president was, was actually having the country in the US. They were asking, can we exclude this president from our metta practice? We are so angry about him. I said, I'm not talking about anybody here. I'm talking about the real Dhamma that I know. So you can't exclude anybody. Maybe he's a crazy person, maybe, but you can't exclude anybody for whatever the reason, because they think in the West, they have a rationalized anger. You know that? In the West, they sometimes rationalize. They say my anger is very justified because this comes from the democratic thinking sometimes. But in Buddhism, we should not be like that. But of course, if you have something, stand up and talk about it, but with no anger. So our wish to start our days, let no one deal with suffering.
Can I share my experience?
Yeah.
Yeah. For myself,
Yeah.
I have a gym. I always bang 3 times, Namo Tassa 3 times. Then I mention all sentient beings, whether they are living in the high lumps, low lumps, whether it is in water, they are residing in water, land, or space. May they all be free from worries, free from anger, and all that kind of thing until the end. But I see from that, I have a lot of good things happening to me. Yeah? And my words always works.
Mhm.
The honesty is there, and it really helps from my own experience. I believe the more I do and the more sincere I am, the better it is for me, for my life and for whoever I talk to. I can convince them. I always also can do a little bit some good things for them. So
yeah, in the same way, Dhamma folks, on the other hand, if you hold back to these emotions of anger and ill will, how many good thoughts are going to go away from you every morning? Now you like, let's say you start your day and you hold back to yesterday and then probably last month, probably 70s, 60s, if you were that long old, probably 80s, 70s, things happen to you. You hold back to them. You never release them.
no,
Then
no,
not about you,
every
Sadhris.
time it comes back to my mind, this
Yeah,
type of
not
thing,
about
when
you.
it comes back,
This is the general idea. So if you hold back to your past for whatever the justifications, you are losing those good, wholesome thoughts. So they will go away from you. So we have to always let such holistic, wholesome thoughts to uh, come to us, and then to release any judgments, maybe justified thoughts about anger, ill will towards others. Okay. Yeah. Anybody else wants to ask a question? If not, we're going to go to the next stanza. Okay, let's go to the next stanza and then we will have a discussion. Okay. Okay, who's gonna recite this stanza? Maybe we can ask Hema this time. We haven't heard that you reciting a stanza lately.
Okay, Bhante.
Verse number 7.
Yes. Mata yata niyam putam. Ayusa eka puta manorakke. Iwampi sabha butesu manasam bhavaye aparimanam.
Okay, great. Now this verse also has a paradox, right? In English we call paradox, means two ideas can loom. We might get stuck in that. Like in the previous one, as the brooders mentioned, how can we do this, right? How can we do this? But it is said in the sutta. It's a paradox, but I think it is possible because it's a change of our mind, the way how we think, right? And then to let go of our all these ramifications, all these judgmental, justified thoughts that are really irrational in our life. Okay, let's go to this stanza. Mata yatha niyang puttang, not puttam, okay, puttang. Two ways, like when a new person is going to be ordained, the senior monks have that person recited in two ways, makaranta and niggahita. That means there are two pronunciations in Pali. They're going to check up the novice before they becoming, he or she becoming a proper novice. They're going to do the makaranta 5 precept and then the niggahita 5. The makaranta ends in M, as Hema said. Buddham, Dhammam, check about your way how you pronounce. Then the second one, Niggahita, Buddhang Saranang, Buddhang Saranang. That one, Buddham Saranam Gacchami.
Yeah.
Okay, so here it should be Matha Yatha Niyang Puttang. Okay, it's not wrong, but I mean, you know, this is how we say. Matha Yatha Niyang Puttang. Ayusa eka putta manurankhe evampi sabba bhutesu manasang bhavaye aparimanam. Great. Mata. Who is Mata?
Mother.
Mother. Mother. Okay. Yatha niyang putta. Suppose there is a mother who has only one son. How many of you have only one son? Oh, Liana. How many of you have one son? Good. Let's say daughter, maybe son here. Remember when the King Kosala heard that he got a daughter, he was very sad about it. Then the Buddha asked, why? Because daughters cannot take care of the lineage of our family. Say, no, don't say like that. The women are wiser than men, the Buddha said. It's a very radical statement at the time, because at that time women were very excommunicated from the Brahmin society. If women talk about the Veda, they're going to cut their tongue. In India, at that time, they can't even come to Vedic places to chant. If any woman recite the Vedic chants, cut the throat, cut the tongue. It's pretty bad. The Buddha said, no, the women are better than, not better, wiser than men. Right? But the Brahmins said, no, they are not wiser. They are just, you know, they should be under man. Woman should be under man when she is, no, woman should be under father when she is a daughter. When she's, and she should be under husband when she is married. She should be under son when she is old. See how unreasonable is this way? The Buddha said, no, this is not good. We should talk about this freedom, you know. It's a radical statement. Even the Jesus Christ did that, right? In the Christianity history. Anyways, so here, okay, some people said that they have one son. Just imagine the love you're giving to your son, right? Mata yatha niyang putta. Just as a mother gives so much love to her one son. Ayusa eka putta manurakke. How does she express her love towards that son? With her own life. She does everything for his son. Even so, evampi sabbabhutesu. That is the simile. So in the same way, we have to practice loving kindness or metta towards every being. Is it possible to do that? Can you even do it to another son? Don't talk about other folks. Just your friend also has one son. Can you do the same love towards that son? Don't get confused here, because you give a separate kind of love towards your son that is more personal. But the care you give to your son, the care, not the degree of your love. You can't do that to other sons, right? Because they are not yours, right? But the care, the level of care you give to the son has to be the care to every being. The care, the love you can't give. Right? Can you do that easily? Can you? Okay, now a lot of people get confused. Okay, we can't do it because I love my son in the same. I can't do that. No, it's not about the love. Love is personal, definitely. It's personal. The problem is with this translation, loving kindness. What is this? It's a hybrid term. As I said, friendliness. Can you give the same care? Can you give the same care? Because they are also children, like my son, right? The same care towards every being, not even once, not even children. Can you give the same care to every being in this society, in the whole world? And that is the universal way of practicing. That is the highest level of practicing metta. Manasam means the mentality of that metta. Aparimana. What is aparimana? It should be. Now your care to your son is conditional. Is it conditional or unconditional?
Unconditional.
It is mostly conditional in terms of love, right? Mostly it is conditional in terms of love. But the kind of the care we wanted to give to others, every being, should be unconditional, right? As I said, love you can't give to everyone because it is a personal thing. Sun came out of you and then you have people around you. But the care, you should know how you do that. You should be able to care every being just as how you care your folks. In the Western world, a lot of immigrant families are struggling with one word that their children sometimes make to them. Their parents asking them some things. I don't care about it. I don't care. So they get very mad about it. Parents are very mad about when their sons and daughters say, I don't care about it. It's kind of, kind of a way how it's a cultural thing. But the care has to be universal, especially in terms of their life. So the meaning of the whole stanza is that just as a mother who has only one son extends an unconditional love, especially now, actually it's conditional in the form of love, but care is unconditional towards her son. In the same way, we as every being should be able to care. Care by giving metta to every other being unconditionally. This mentality should be unconditional to all of us. This is why the Buddha says that if you practice metta even for one split second, this split second, that kusala you make overtakes or takes over all the other kusala in Buddhist teachings. That means the real metta can take over all the other kusala. That is a higher kind of a kusala karma you make. Right? Remember the Queen Samavati of one of the queens of I think Udeni in Avanti. Avanti was one of the Republican states in India at that time. He had two queens. They were very opposite sides, you know. Samavati was a very kind woman, very kind, very loving woman, the queen, but the Magandiya was very bad. She was very unhappy about Samavati. One day, she poured a bowl of hot water, not hot water, burning water, but nothing happened to Samavati. Don't try it out, huh? Thinking that you have metta. Don't let other people pour hot water on you. You won't survive, I bet. But Samavati survived because she had the right metta practice. Nothing happened. She was highly practicing metta. Now just imagine a queen who is with the king's affairs, but she could practice the real metta. What about us? We are not struggling with a lot of comforts. We have comforts, but not to the level of a queen, right? But they could practice. Okay, any questions about these two verses? I think these two verses are paradoxes. That means the areas where you have never thought in your metta practice. So I urge you to think these two paradoxes. That means you may be lacking. You need to apply these aspects to your metta practice. Otherwise, you are not making your metta practice as the Buddha asks us to practice.
Bhante,
I think there's a question from Dihan. We'll go to Brutus after.
please, to practice this metta that we are talking about, I think it is not just to read the Metta Sutta and practice what is taught in the Metta Sutta. I think the entire teaching of the Buddha has to be followed before we can reach this level of the metta. First, we have to just keep, don't say other things, Bhante. Just give 5 precepts only. How perfect are we keeping? Only 5. This Metta Sutta got how many? 5 also, sometimes break the precept here and there. Also not perfect. So, for what we know, this practice has been, everybody has been trying to practice better, but I think it's not very successful because it is very, shall I say, very demanding. Very other things like mindfulness must be very strongly developed. Effort must be there, right effort must be there,
Yeah.
right view must be there.
Yeah.
And all these things have to come in and not just metta alone to develop metta. Right, Bhante?
Yeah, let me explain to you. I see your frustration. You are not the first one to frustrate. Even some monks frustrated. You know, there was a monk who was very frustrated. His name was, what was his name? Godika. His name was Godika. So he attained some jhanas and then he expired. Not like you, I mean, he was at least more developed in terms of his practice, meditation in the books. And finally, he started cutting his neck off. And then he felt the Vedana, pain. And he practiced Vedana Anupassana, second Satipatthana, and then attained Nibbana. But the Mara thought he died without attaining any spiritual state. So he became a small little kid, went to the Buddha and asked, Bhante, do you know the Godika? Where was he reborn? That means Mara cannot find out where the Arahants are going to be reborn. The Buddha said, people like you will never know where Arahants going to be reborn. Okay, you are not the first Buddhas. Okay, let me tell you, don't get confused. I think if somebody claims that everything is difficult to him or her, such persons or such people have to reflect upon whether I obtain the proper instruction of whatever the things that you, in your case, you mentioned. You said 5 precepts, mindfulness. I think people are bombarded with a lot of information. Bombarded. That's the problem here. So if you click on one website, there is somebody talking about very high mindfulness. Somebody talk about breathing meditation. Somebody talk about chanting. Somebody say, don't worry, don't do anything, just come to the chanting. So these are very mixed emotions, mixed teachings are going on. That's why I'm telling you, our plan is, we're not saying that we are talking the right Dhamma here. Everybody who wants to learn Dhamma, come here to Bhante Chandima's class. Everywhere else is the wrong teaching. No, we don't say like that. We are trying to say the teaching has to know in the proper way. Okay. So for those people who did not have the proper way, might have issues. Not only you may probably have different things. And if you follow many people, this can happen too. So I always say, if you really follow the most needed teachings in order, you will have less frustrations. Okay. As you said, metta is not needed. Just 5 precepts are enough. That is not a good way of looking at it, because 5 precepts are very normal. Even Jain, the Jain Niganta's teachings, the Buddha's teachings are 10 kusala. So I think a proper standardized teaching is needed to everybody of you. That is what we've been doing here, right? So if you are very alien, if you are not familiar with any of the things that we talk about, don't get frustrated, because you are also learning and then at least trying to practice it one day. Now, I think the problem is here, you learning new things every day. I'm thinking, wow, I haven't learned this thing to this day. So that means, why should I learn all that, right? That is the issue. So it is not the problem with the teaching. It is the problem of our personal lives and our inability to learn the Dhamma that is really reflective in the teachings. So here we try to teach everybody some Pali and some proper gradual methodological teaching of the Buddha. So don't get frustrated, because you are not the first. There were many people who frustrated, not even frustrated. They even did a lot of things, right? Don't worry, because there are a lot of things we could do to become better practitioners. And then I also think it is the patience that we all need. The Buddha said patience is the most important quality for the Dhamma practice. There are many people who want to attain Nibbana tonight. I don't encourage that. Maybe next year, maybe next month with a long retreat. No, that's not possible. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible. You know, it's a practice. It takes time. It's an individualized practice. Not a monk can do that. The monk can guide you, right? Not that they can take you there. Dihan, you have a question, I saw.
Yes, Bhante.
Yeah.
Actually, this is directly related to our culture, but normally they are saying that Pirisuddhu Chetana Gangodawila. Actually, in Sinhalese, if I translate one to one, I don't know whether it's correct or not. Normally, your thoughts brings love. Is it coming from the Buddha's teaching, or is this only our cultural thing?
Pirisuddhu Chetana in Sinhala means pure thoughts. Then Gangodawila. Okay, now Vasana can be not even luck. It could be well-being. It could be prosperity also, right? So there is no a contradiction with the teaching, because if you have pure thoughts, definitely they will bring you well-being. Now, if you start tomorrow, think about tomorrow, Saturday, you wake up tomorrow morning with good thoughts, wholesome thoughts, metta, this metta, remember this high level of metta, definitely your day will fill with a lot of happiness, a lot of prosperity. It might not be physical money, it might not be paper bills, whatever others, but your happiness, right? So the quality of your life will go high. So it is not luck. When you say luck, it could be something that you're expecting from something just without doing anything. There are folks like that. They want to just check their luck. In Buddhism, we don't believe in luck. We believe in action. There must be action. Let our past karma come, the good ones. But we don't just depend on luck, right? Because we have a very practical life to, go. Yeah, any more questions?
Bhante, I would like
Yeah,
to
Aliana.
ask about perception. Is it similar with our subconscious mind, Bhante? So because sometimes when things happen, it's just like the emotion or the feelings is just pop up, like instantly, maybe triggered by something, similar things happen in the past. So is it the same thing? But
Okay.
I found that by identifying that the things, the ill will come up, from there at least we know what's happening, then we won't develop the further away from more.
Great. Subconscious mind. I think this comes from Sigmund Freud. He's talking about, I can't remember, superego, whatever. So subconscious mind is mostly, discussing the, what is their tradition? They call about psychoanalytical school, modern psychology. It's an old school, actually, not a new one. Sigmund Freud lived far back. In Buddhism, we have to understand subconsciousness mind from Abhidhamma. In Abhidhamma, it says, every time when a thought is going to get registered, it has to go through 17 moments. 17 chittakhanas, we call it, Abhidhamma. The first 3 moments of that process, individual process, are associating our bhavanga. Our bhavanga. What is bhavanga? Bhavanga means our vijnana that came from past life and which will go to the next life. So the rest of the moments are attached to this life. Now somebody might think, what will happen to us when we have thoughts in sleep? Do thoughts come to us when we sleep? Huh?
Dreams.
Really?
Dreams come.
Dreams come. Dreams come. How does happen? How does it happen? Now let's say, because in Abhidhamma it says, when you are not sleeping, a thought process will go to 17 moments. But when you are in sleep, it won't go to that amount, because you are not letting your 5 senses open for that, right? You are sleeping. So what are the thoughts that can come to us when we are in sleep? The thoughts that we already processed through the mind are still stored somewhere through with the bhavanga. They can replay at night. To some people, something happened today morning and it replays by the evening. So mind itself replays what may have happened during the day, probably in different projections as dreams. I know there are people who always go to sleep, today I want to dream what I want, but unfortunately, every time I see a tiger chasing after me, which I don't like. I mean, this is not the dream I want to see. I want to see I get going in my life, but the tiger always go after. I can't run. I fall down. He's doing something to me. So the bad dreams. So you can't create the dreams. Dreams are automatic. So the thing here is that when you sleep, then something works. That might be subconsciousness, right? That might be the subconsciousness. It is said that this happens in the last couple of hours when our, what is it called? REM. REM is active, because when people are dreaming, they might sometimes stretch out their hands and they will do more harm to them. So naturally, there is a bodily function that stiffens our bodily parts, because the REM starts. That's a medical thing. Anyways, so subconsciousness is what I understand by what is happening when a thought process does not work properly during the 17 moments. It works with a less number of thought moments. So so subconsciousness can work. What's the other part of your question, Aliana? So we believe subconscious works.
Subconscious, I mean, when something similar things happen, if in the past, I mean something happened in the past and then it happened again in this moment, and yeah, and then it seems like it's triggered and the similar reaction or pop up. So is it become?
So
is it
what
the
you-
same as the perception? Perception.
Okay, so what you say is there was something in the past and then you dream it.
No,
And-
Bhante. I mean, for example, if someone hurt us in the past,
Okay.
and then other person will do the same thing in the present moment, and then the ill will and this one is like immediate response pop up. Is it the perception same as
You mean during the dream?
not during the dream, the actual life?
Okay, great. It's not about the sleep then. So subconsciousness, I wouldn't call it subconsciousness at that point. So I would call it our Bhavanga Vijnana, because our Bhavanga Vijnana stores a lot of things. Okay, so let's say you have a bad experience in the past. Somebody was very mean to you. Yeah, definitely, this bad experience will create projections for somebody else. You might think, oh, this happened to me at that time. Maybe this person also will do the same thing. That means the past experiences can project a similar experience in this life, but it won't happen too. Sometimes it can happen, sometimes it won't happen. But there is some support with that triggers, because when you have a past experience, you normally have a good inference guess about how things go. Because of that, you are careful about it, right? So I think that is how you have to act on that. You're gonna be careful about it. But on the other hand, the flip side is that sometimes we suspect people with this thinking too. That is not good. Let's say there was a very random incident, somebody was very mean to us, but we going to suspect others also for the same thing, right? It's like a stray dog was attacked by a bunch of people. Now you are a good person, you want to show the dog that I'm a good guy, but the dog does not trust you. It takes time, you're gonna make him comfortable, and then it takes time. In the same way, I think if you have a bad experience, you may have it, but not in a hurtful way, but only as experience. If you make it as a hurtful thing, then you are, every time you are hurting, when you see a similar experience coming up, you need to heal yourself, right? Otherwise, you are mean to good people too. It can happen too, right? So let bad experience become an experience and not a troubling thought for you to deal with other good people at the moment or in this present time. Make sense?
Thank you, Bhante.
Great. Okay, so anyone else? Sankhara. I think you were asking about the connection of Sankhara to that. Yeah, it's true, because when you say a bad experience, it is definitely a perception. Will become a perception that happened in the past. So they are emotions too. They normally store up in your consciousness as emotions, because Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, they all lie in our Vijnana, consciousness. Okay, so let's say you had a bad experience with somebody, then that Sanya will continue unless you treat it. They're all in the mind, right? They all are part of the mind. It will take 2 more minutes, otherwise we're going to transfer merits to depart folks. Okay, it looks like no more questions at this point. So then we're going to move on to the transference of good karmas and the sharing of good karmas with the devas, nagas, right? Because all the good karmas we've been accumulating to this level, we transfer to all the nyatis, departed relatives who passed away in the name of all of us. If the relatives who departed from us will all be in a painful realm, may they be able to switch to a better place. If they are already in a better place, may they be able to improve their standards of living and then practice more Dhamma, listen to more Dhamma, and finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We'll recite the stanzas. Idang mi nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayu. Idam mi nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayu. Idam mi nyati nang hotu sukita huntu nyatayu. Also, let's share all the good karmas with the devas, nagas, mahinikas. May all the devas, nagas, mahinikas share all these good karmas and protect, bless all of us. The monks, devotees, everybody who joined here from far and wide, from different countries too. May all you be protected and blessed by the Deva Naga Mahika for good health, quality of life, prosperity. Not even all of you, but also your family members, your even granddaughters, grandsons, everybody. May all the Devas, Nagas, Mahikas also be well and happy. May they also be well and happy at the same time attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavatacha ammihi sambatang punya sampradang sabhi deva anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Ittavatacha ammihi sambatang punya sampradang sabhi bhuta anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Ittavatacha ammihi sambatang punya sampradang sabbe satta anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Akasattha ca bummattha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu lokasasanang. Akasattha ca bummattha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu desanang. Akasattha ca bummattha devanaga mahindika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkhantu mang paranti. Finally, before we move on to the fish, let's have another wish too. May we be able to associate wise beings till we attain the Nibbana, because we need Kalyana Mittas to be supported. As Brutus mentioned, that we may have failures, but that is why we should be always surrounded by Kalyana Mittas who can encourage us, who can put us back on the path. Otherwise, we think that we are not supported. Kalyana Mittas are very important. That's why we're going to make this wish. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yava nibbana pattiya. May I not associate the unwise beings, balas. May I always be in the company of the wise beings, pandita, sappurisa, till I attain the nibbana. Finally, may all the good karmas that we've been doing so far be supportive, helpful to all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silisse nichang vaddha pracharino chattharu dhamma vaddhanti ayuvannu sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti me vacha Atu nibbana sampatti iminati samichatu. By the noble power of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, may all your sufferings go away, may all your fears go away, may all your sicknesses go away, may you all be protected and safe and be taken care by the triple gem and all the other magnificent, splendiferous forces. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so wish you a good night and see you then next Friday with the rest of the stanzas. I think we have, I guess, verse number 8, 9, and 10. So I would do the verse number 8 and 9 next Friday, and then do the verse number 10 in the last week after next Friday, because then we can actually recap, summarize everything we did. So just one stanza alone doesn't make a problem, because we can summarize, and then we will move on to the Singalavada Sutta after that. Okay, so good evening and good night, folks. See you then next Friday. Take care.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, brother.
Good night, Bhante.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Bhante. Good night, everyone.
Have a good conference tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante. Good night. Thank you.
Good night,
Thank you,
Bhante.
everybody.
When are you coming back? I mean, when are you going back?